there, and welcome back to another episode of The Mailman Cometh. Hi, thanks for coming back to my channel. My name's Doug, and I have another unboxing of a fountain pen. So I went to my mailbox today, and this was highly anticipated. This is another package from China, and I'm guessing at what this is. I've got a couple of things that I'm waiting for, but I'm guessing that I know what this is, but let's open it up and find out. So, as usual, I'm going to fast forward through all the crinkly bits so you don't have to listen to it or wait for me to open this package with my scissors. Okay, and here we go. And we're back. That wasn't too difficult. It's an interesting package because it's two fountain pens, so I know what this is. I have a Jinhao 159 that I really like. I've done a review on this before. Nice big fat pen with a big number 6 nib. The only issue I have with it is that this is difficult to close because it got cross-threaded. I'm still having difficulty. I'll have to do that later. So I got a replacement for what were they? $5? Something like that. So that was sort of an extra. The same shop, I thought, well, I needed one of these anyway. So I get this one at the same time. Get it out of its condom. Only this time I got the gold one. And I'm going to be careful with this one. More careful. Because those metal threads go against those plastic threads. If you cross-thread it, it never goes back together again. Exactly the same way. So, there's my Jinhao 159. I think I'm going to replace the other one completely with this one. And let's see what I really ordered here. This is the brother to my Kaigelu 316. I bought this one in amber, and I got the really nice presentation box. And this one is the same pen. Get it out of its condom. Only this one is in blue and black. And the photos on the website do not do this justice. I knew that was going to be the case. Just look at the chatoyance on that. Isn't that gorgeous? Because it's so dark, photographs don't come out well with the amount of depth there is to this. They call it celluloid, but it's an acrylic. It's an acrylic resin. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So they're the same pen, and from what I can see online, there's the amber. This one's called charcoal, and there's another one in, I think it's either called ivory or white, but it's got white and black, quite striking white and black stripes. Might have to get a third one in this series. We'll see. I've got another pen coming that I just ordered yesterday, which is a Picasso 915, I think, but and it's a little bit more expensive than these guys, but so the mate to this one might have to wait a bit. So let's take a look at this charcoal. Give it the once over. Here's the kangaroo logo. You can see there. What I like about this kangaroo logo is it sits in a piece of acrylic, clear acrylic, like a marble. It's got a bit of a dome to it there, and so it gives you sort of an eyeball kind of effect, and the light shines across that logo, which is, as you can see, if I can focus here, is a kangaroo with a baby in its pouch. And this logo is also on the nib. So that finial there, the nice gold-plated clip, not ostentatious. It's fairly stiff, so it takes a little bit. Of course, I've got guitar fingernails, so I can get my thumb under there. It's got a double gold band on the cap, and then the cap slightly angles down towards the barrel. At the bottom, the blind cap, so this is supposed to look like a Pelican M800 or something like that, or a Parker dual fold. So in those pens, this would be your piston fill, because this is just a dumb blind cap, and that's just a piece of plastic with a gold band. And I tried on the other one. This does come off, but it's really stuck on there good. And this unscrews as well. I'm not going to do it, but it does unscrew. It is a screw thread, so let's see how many turns it takes. There's 1, 2, yeah, just about 3 turns. That's a lot of turning. This one feels better than my amber. My amber one, now I put silicone grease on these threads, but it also always kind of sticks, right? I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it sticks right there. I was worried that this one would be the same, and no, it doesn't. So it might just be the luck of the draw when it comes to the threading. Yeah, exactly the same. There's a section with a gold band. It's kind of concave, and it flares out towards the end, and another gold band. And the Kaigelu M. And the kangaroo with the baby in its pouch logo, and some gold, gold in quotation marks, filigree on there. And it is a cartridge converter. You have a gold metal section here, threaded, and stamped 316, the model number right there. International converter that says Kaigelu on it. This one seems to work nicely, not rattly. And earlier models of this unscrewed, but this one just pulls. There we go. And it's got a metal band around the nipple and an agitator in the converter. Let's look at the barrel. That's lovely. I'm very pleased with this, and I'm just looking at it through the camera right now. So look at that. It doesn't have any transparency that I can see. Look down the cap. There is a rivet, I believe, at the bottom of that. Look, with my naked eye, I can see it. With the camera, you can't. That holds that logo on, I think, and that whole assembly. Bottom. Well, this is excellent. That goes together very nicely. I'm pleased with that cap threading. Better than the first one. The first one, I'm calling this Kanga, and I'm calling this one Roo. And if I get the third one, the white one, it's going to have to be called Joey, I'm afraid. So just to keep the naming nomenclature proper. So what I'm going to do, and also I just wanted to show you this too. My box that came with the amber kangaroo has a couple of different elastics on it. So my thinking was that I could put one in under one of the elastics and the other one in under the other way, like that. And we have them both lined up in a nice presentation box. Yeah, I was right. Very nice. Now, if you do get the box, it does come with some other case candy. This little card. I don't know what it says. Probably says kangaroo. And Shanghai Kaigelu Stationery Company Limited. In Chinese probably says the same thing. And it has this little booklet. Kangaroo Australia Holdings Limited Develop. And then there are various instructions on how to take care of your pen in different languages. Mostly Chinese languages. Oh, there we go. Brand profile. Little drawings on how to fill your pen. So that's good. So I'm glad I got the one box, but I didn't need two. So that all comes with your box, which cost me another $5 or $6, I think, to get the presentation box with it. But that works for both. Now I'm going to take Roo here and clean him all out and get him ready for ink. And then I'll come back and I'll ink it up on camera and we'll do a writing sample. So I thought I'd demonstrate here just how I go about preparing this for ink. I've got a little bit of half a glass of water here with 1 drop of liquid dish soap, not dishwasher soap, but dish soap. And take the converter out. And I'm going to clean the section by flushing it with this soapy water and then flushing it with clear water. But I wanted to illustrate what you can do with your converter. Some of these converters are disassemblable, some aren't. This one is. It has this metal band here that unscrews, and that band comes off, and then this section here comes off, and then you can pull this out, and it's got a little notch in it so that you know how to put it back together again. There's a little notch right there. But I usually put silicone grease on this section, the little cam section, threads. But you don't want to lose these little pieces. This comes off. You can pull the whole piston right out of there, and you can clean all these sections. There's the little agitator. You don't want to lose that. But here you can flush this all out with soapy water, then run it with clear. So if your pen gets gunked up with ink, you can clean it right out by disassembling all these different parts. If you have an ink that stains readily, like my Noodler's inks tend to stain things, especially my Noodler's Violet, North African Violet, it really sort of attacks that plastic and everything goes violet. So just flush it with some of this soapy water and then clear water, and then a small drop of bleach in the water, just 1 little drop, and flush it with the bleach, and then maybe let it sit in the water until it bleaches that color out, and then you're good to go. So I'm going to leave the agitator in here and use one of these bulb syringes. This was a photographic duster. It comes with this little attachment that you use to clean your lenses and stuff like that, and then it just attaches here like that, and you can use it to blow air. Well, it also sucks up water pretty good. So I'm going to run a little bit of water through this converter. the soapy water right through there a couple of times. Let's move this down. See that? There. And then I managed to do them all at once. Let the bulb fill with water. There we go. I just stuff that in the section. And run the water through. Now, some pens you can take the nib and feed out, separate them out and dry, clean them separately and dry them and stuff like that. This Kaigelu 316, from what I understand, I have not taken the nibs out, but from what I understand, they are in there pretty securely, and it takes quite a bit of effort to get them out. So I'm not going to attempt to do that. Just running it with clear water to clean out the soapy bit. And whenever I change inks, I do this as well. Just run the water through it. Now you can do this with the cartridge converter by filling it up and expelling it with the cartridge converter, but this with the bulb, you can really push on it, get that water going through there. So it takes a lot less time and is much more efficient. The water's going through that feed pretty well. And I'll flush it a couple of times with clear water. Now with some of these, you can take this section off like that and fit the whole bulb right on that and get it straight through. Now when you're squeezing it out, I hold on to the section so it doesn't eject your section nib first into a glass of water. That would be bad for the nib if you shot it across the room or you shot it into your glass. So I hang on to it just to make sure. There. That should be good enough to go. Do the same thing with the converter. This is easier to do. Doesn't take as much water to get through the converter. Get that all cleared out. There we go. And then you just dry with a paper towel. Now you want to make sure that all the water is out of there, so you can let your paper towel wick all of that up. But I help the drying process with a little bit of compressed air. Whoops, bumped into my microphone. Hang on. There. A little bit of compressed air, duster. You can blow it out like that. Really helps with the drying process. And a Q-tip helps as well. Don't forget that agitator. Now I'm going to put a little silicone grease on these threads. Just a drop. A little dab will do you. That looks pretty good. Line up the little notches. Make sure the piston works. That seems to work. And we put the pan back on. There we go. Now, I'll put a little bit of silicone grease on these threads as well. A little drop. Back and forth a few times. And for this guy, I'm going to put a little drop on these threads as well. Just a little bit. And then work it in. So I find that acrylic celluloid on celluloid tends to stick a little bit. And with 3 full rotations to get that cap off, 1, 2, 3, and a quarter. That's a lot. So the simpler you can make it, the better. There we go. Now, roux is all ready for ink. Back at you in a second. Okay, we're all ready to ink our Kaigelu 316 up with ink. I've cleaned it all out, and I thought I would give you some sizes and weights and some comparisons as well. I did this for the other one. There's the comparison. They are identical. I've tested them. Exactly the same weights, which you would expect. Here is a Wingsung 3008. Here is a Bauer 388. It's a Parker Sonnet lookalike. And here is the Jinhao 159, which is a Mont Blanc 149 kind of size comparison lookalike. So you can see what the differences are. Of course, the Jinhao is bigger. This pen sits in the hand, unposted, just beautifully. This is why I got a second one, because I'm going to want one in a couple of different colors. This one's going to be blue. Kanga is going back to Mont Blanc toffee brown. And I'm going to ink roux up here with Asagao, Iroshizuku Asagao. Now this is not the ink that's going to stay in roux. I'm going to keep this ink for my Visconti, but at the end of the week I'm going to be getting some J. Urban Eclat du Saphir, which is almost a violet, purpley kind of a blue. Blurple, as they call it, a blue purple, which I think will go nicely with this beautiful dark blue chatoyant pen. So in the meantime, let's ink this puppy up with some Iroshizuku Asagao. And I will try not to make a mess. As always, it's a challenge around the camera, but let's give it a try. There's one. Getting about a quarter there. Making bubbles. I'll do it 3 times. There we go. Now I'm going to write with this pen unposted, because posted, it does post but not securely. You can probably knock that off, but it becomes enormous and heavily back weighted, so it's just not a postable pen, in my view. So let's do a little bit of a writing sample here. This is a Rhodia dot pad. This is a medium nib. And the ink is Iroshizuku Asagao. So what I'm feeling right away is that it is not quite as smooth or as wet as its big brother, and not quite as thick as its big brother. It might take a little bit of smoothing. Let's see. So you see when I'm moving quickly, it's not quite keeping up. So I might have to see what I can do about maybe putting a little bit of, turn my autofocus off, there we go. Putting a little bit of a shim between the tines to open it up a little bit. But I'm going to give it a few swirls on some micro mesh and see whether that smooths it out a bit. It's still quite a lovely pen. I know that this is going to feel just like the other one. Let's get the other one out and see on the Rhodia whether I'm correct in my feelings about this. Here's Kanga 1. As you can see, this is much wetter. This is lammy turquoise. So I'm going to see if I can solve the flow issues. It's not really an issue. It's just not exactly the same as this other one. So I'm going to try to get them both the same. But on the whole, I'm very pleased with this. I'm going to write with it for a while and try it with the J.R. Bond at the end of the week. And we'll see how that goes. As always, thank you for watching. And that's all she wrote.